A very good evening, everyone, and welcome to the orientation session of Public Administration Optional. Now, today is the very first class, and most of you are absolutely new to the preparation of civil services. At least when it comes to your optional paper, you are absolutely new. So, the first class, the orientation session that is there, in this very session, I would be telling you about what exactly are the basics of public administration that you should be focusing upon in order to score well in your optional. Okay, so from the very beginning itself, we are going to have a examination mode, an examination perspective, where every day, whatever we talk about, it would every day it would be relevant for whatever the UPSC tends to ask. Okay, so our discussion has to be seen from that very perspective. Okay, now as all of you are all no you are absolutely new to your option, so I would not be in the very first day I would not be specifically talking about what the content of the optional is. What I will be primarily focusing upon is what should be the method in which you prepare this optional. Okay, so the methods, few key pointers which is important for your optional, and along with these pointers, etc., I would also substantiate every discussion by giving you no, an insight into the PYQs. Okay, so how PYQs are asked and whatever I am saying, why is it important? Okay, yes, a very good evening to all of you. A very warm welcome to all of you. Today is the very first day, and today is important because in Indian traditions we always consider that what begins well will always have good consequences for us. It will always have good consequences for us. Okay, so let's without any delay, let's begin with our discussion. Ansh, I already have a Telegram group, and in that very Telegram group, all of you would be added. Any information that would be required from my side, I would be providing you with that information on the Telegram group. You'll be added. No, once let's begin, and then whatever would be necessary will be done. Okay. So when it comes to public administration optionals, see, there are a few things in public administration optional that you have to be very careful of, because in comparison to other optionals see, I do not necessarily have a lot of detailed knowledge about other options, so commenting on it would not be right. But at least when it comes to public administration as an optional, one thing that I can tell you without any doubt is that this optional is comparatively a bit more technical, and it is more conceptual. So if you understand the concepts well in this optional, if you understand the concepts well, then more than 50% of your job is already done. More than 50% of your job will already be done if you are if you are understanding the concepts well. Okay, so public administration optional, like every optional, has two papers: paper 1, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 and paper 2, and interestingly, the emphasis of paper 1 is very different from the emphasis of paper 2, because in paper 1, what are the specific topics that we read? We in this paper focus on the discussion of an organization. So in this paper, that is in paper 1 of your optional, we read more about how the organization functions. How the organization functions. So when we talk about public administration, we don't think of public administration in such a manner. Generally, whenever we choose public administration as an optional, we feel that what we are likely to study is how the government organization functions and what are the important positions in government hierarchy, what are the important key administrative positions of the union government, state government, and so on. This is generally what we think when we start preparing for public administration, when we have a very limited knowledge of what public administration optional is about. We tend to do what? We tend to focus and we tend to understand the optional from this perspective, but that is where the problem lies, because in public administration optional paper 1 is more of how not the government organization or the Indian government organization functions, but what exactly is the functioning of the organization. So how the organization functions, how the organization works, that is primarily the focus area of public administration paper 1. So here you will find that there is a correlation between the public administration as well as the management, some part of management. So it's not very technical part of management. So you need not fear this. It is something which which is a very conceptual, a very easy part of management is what we study as a part of paper 1. We study it as a part of paper 1. Clear? Now, on the very first day, I'm absolutely giving you an insight related to what the syllabus of the optional is. Okay, you should have a you should have an insight, because when you come to the class and when we start discussing the syllabus that is present there in the class, so in that case, if you know what you are going to study, if your expectations are right, if your expectations are right, what is going to happen is that you will not be surprised, and accordingly you know what is going to come. But what happens is that my experience tells me that people tend to be surprised with what they study in public administration, because most of the times they are not expecting what exactly is being asked. They are not expecting that, because here whenever we talk about the optional has a very significant, when it comes to specifically paper 1, a very significant part of paper 1, not elaborately, not huge part, but a significant part of public administration paper 1 is related to management. That means the theories that are there, the organizational theories that are there, like the theories given by certain scholars, like starting with F.W. Taylor or Max Weber, or certain scholars like Fayol. These scholars are borrowed by public administration. They have done what? They have been borrowed by public administration, and they have been borrowed by public administration from management. Okay. So in public administration, this initial part of public administration is something which overlaps with management. Okay, at least the thinker part of it is that is there to a certain extent. It is something which overlaps with management. You know why? Because see, public administration is a very new discipline. It is not as old as the sciences. So if you look at physics, if you look at medicine and so on, history or something like that, you will find that the study of medicine, the study of physics, the study of chemistry, etc., it was started during the ancient times itself. Okay. But when it comes to public administration, we find the evidence of public administration being studied only from 1887. So it's hardly almost 150 years old. है ना? It's hardly almost 150 years old. So in this time period of 150 years, what can we expect? है ना? How many thinkers would be there? How many of the original thinkers from public administration will start contributing to the discipline in the form of theories, etc. There will be some limitations definitely. Okay. So in this case, what the syllabus, the manner in which syllabus has been presented by UPSC, those syllabus does what? Those syllabus, no, it overlaps with the management part, where the thinkers part and the organizational theories part that is there, we have borrowed from management. Okay. But remember, there is nothing to fear this. In fact, this is very interesting. And you know why it is very interesting? It's also interesting because not only it is conceptual, so it's more like if you understand the basics, you have understood the things, but also because most of the times we are repeatedly going to refer to this idea to write other aspects of administration also, you know. So जो भी चीजें हम यहाँ पढ़ेंगे, whatever we study here, what we are going to do is we are also going to, no, we are also going to write it when we discuss some other aspects of public administration, है ना? Or that is where the syllabus gets more easier. Why? Because we have already studied it. So when we studied new topics, we are actually referring to the old topics. Okay. So the idea of management theories, no, management that is there, it's limited to that idea of theories. Okay. Then comes the second part, which is what? When it comes to public administration paper 1, a significant part of public administration paper 1 deals with in the introduction topic itself. In the introduction topic itself. And what is this introduction topic about? So introduction topic that is there, introduction topic, introduction topic that is there, it is something which includes how public administration has evolved as a discipline from 1887, है ना? अभी मैंने आपको बताया that 1887, ठीक है, अभी मैंने आपको बताया था that 1887 is the landmark year because this is considered to be the starting point of public administration. Starting point of public administration. Okay. It's considered to be the starting point of public administration. So when we say that how public administration has started, now how public administration has started, so from 1887 to up to today, that means we are, no, from 1887 to 2020 or 2025, this particular period that is there, this particular period is where public administration slowly and steadily has become a very, very important component in the study of any government and the functioning of the government. क्या हुआ है? मैंने क्या कहा? मैंने ये कहा है that during this particular year, that is in the last approximately 150 years, in the last approximately 150 years, what has happened is that public administration has become a very important component of the study of government and functioning of the government. What has happened? The study of the government and the functioning of the government that is there. For that, public administration has become very important. So what are the reasons and what are the changes? We are going to study about it in the introduction topic itself. So We are going to study about evolution of public administration. We are going to study about Woodrow Wilson and his vision. Woodrow Wilson is the thinker who is considered to be the father of public administration. So we are going to study about him. We are also going to study about what? We are also going to study about uh, the year 1960s, because there was an event called as new public administration. So what was that? Then we are also going to talk about the after the 1960s, we are going to talk about the 1980s. And in the 1980s, there was an initiative which was called as NPM. So what is this NPM initiative? We are going to discuss that as well. We are going to talk about that as well. So what has happened over the period of time in public administration? How has public administration evolved? और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात यहां पर यह होगी जब आप देखोगी कि किस तरह से विल्सन ने, वुड्रो विल्सन, एंड हाउ विड्रो विल्सन नो लुक्ड एट पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, हाउ वुड्रो विल्सन लुक्ड एट पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, and how he emphasized on which aspects of public administration. And if you look at today, you will find that public administration has completely changed. What has happened? Public administration has completely changed. It has completely changed. है ना? So what are the reasons and what are the events that has resulted into that change is what we study as a part of introduction topic. है ना? It is what we study as a part of introduction topic. And this topic, the more we know about this topic, you will find that it helps you even in your general studies paper too. That is the governance part. The governance part that is there, you will find that how we look at governance today, the way governance is taken up today is, no, it is something which is the result of, it is something which is the result of these changes जो हम public administration में पढ़ते हैं. That is what the introduction part of this very discussion is. ठीक है? Ambesh, you have a question, that why are people why are less people clearing for examination? I will deal with it. I will tell you exactly what is required. है ना? We will be discussing today itself an idea what is requirements of public administration, and there I will tell you why there has been a problem that has emerged. Okay, don't worry about it. Clear? So the introduction part would be this. Okay, then there is a topic in paper 1 which is called as administrative behavior. The topic is administrative behavior, and in this topic what we discuss is basically the ideas of important behavior that is being performed in an organization. So when we look at any organization, how does an organization function? What are the important aspects of an organization, or what are the important behavior activities that is being performed in an organization? So it is about what? It is about decision making. It's about communication, है ना? Leadership and motivation. This is so interesting part. No, this is such an interesting part. Okay, this is such an interesting part that you will find that as a civil servant, this is what you're supposed to do there, है ना? आप जब सिविल सर्वेंट बनोगे तो आप एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम कर रहे हो. आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आपके साथ देयर आर अदर इंडिविजुअल्स आल्सो, है ना? देयर आर so many other individuals who are also working with you. So either they are your colleagues, or they are your subordinates, or they are your superiors, है ना? So in that case, ठीक है, in that case what is going to happen is that these are exactly the activities that you're supposed to perform. So as a civil servant, you are supposed to take decisions related to management of resources. So whatever resources are at the disposal of the organization that you are a part of, whichever organization you are working for, there are certain resources that the organization has, है ना? वो resources, it could be what? It could be the resource related to money. It could be material resource. So there is money related resources, there are material resources, etc, etc, and you are supposed to make the most efficient use of resources, है ना? This is what civil servant does. So whenever we look at civil services, what is the problem? We tend to think of it as the fact that civil servants, a very authoritative position, etc. No, a civil servant is responsible for taking decisions related to how the resources are managed. So that is what we study as a part of the decision making idea. That is what we study as a part of decision making idea, as to what are the important factors, what are the important variables, and how to take a decision in order to ensure that those decisions that are there, they are taken for the benefit of the organization as well as the people that you are serving. Okay. Now, when it comes to the communication part, now this communication is primarily within the organization. So what is the process and importance of communication within the organization? Every organization that we are a part of, any organization. Now, you may be very new, so you think that you are not, you have just started. Maybe most of you are, either still pursuing your graduation, or some of you have just completed that. Now, what you need to understand is that even family is an organization. Even family is an organization. So just look at the family. There are people within a family. Family also has a goal. Every family has a specific goal. Every family has a specific goal. Okay? Like every organization does. Every member of the family has a particular job to perform. Like every member in the organization. Every organization works through proper communication and coordination. That is also very much important in a family. So to study organization is so easy, because you have to just equate it to family. If you equate it to family and how family functions, you will understand exactly how the organization functions. So in a family, what is the most important thing? The most important thing is, the hallmark of a good family is that people in a good family communicate with each other. What do? They communicate with each other. That's the hallmark of a good family. So the mother, the father, they, at the end of the day, they come. The father tells the mother how the day was. The mother tells her, tells him about the challenges that she faces, and they communicate well. They come up with, trying to come up with how to resolve every challenge that is present in the family. That is what happens in an organization. In an organization, if the key stakeholders, if the in the organization, जो organization में साथ साथ काम कर रहे हैं, जो stakeholders हैं, if they're communicating well, if they're telling the other stakeholder what the problems are, and the other stakeholder is maybe likely informing them how to resolve those problems, है ना? Problems को resolve कैसे किया जाए. What will be the result of it? The result of it would be that it is going to ensure that the organization works in a very integrated, in a good manner. Okay? Then comes the very concept of what? Then comes the very concept of leadership. Now, just look at the role of a leader. In an organization, there is a possibility that an organization which has a good leader, an organization which has a good leader, achieves something which is extraordinary, even though the members of the organization that are there, they have limited skills. Organization में जो वो leaders है, अगर उनमें limited skills है, they have limited skills, but they may have extraordinary what they may have extraordinary achievements, provided the leader has a vision and the leader is good, है ना? On the contrary, if there is an extraordinary organization, that means an extraordinary skill set, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी स्किल सेट हो, लेकिन अगर लीडर अच्छा नहीं है, if the leader is not good enough, what will happen? The organization is unlikely to achieve greatness, है ना? Just look at it. Look at it from sports perspective. Look at it from sports perspective. Sports से correlate करो. And in sports, you will find that the key to achieve positive results is the role of leader. The key to achieve positive results is what? The role of leader. If there is a team sport that is being played, in a team sport, individuals that were there, these individuals may have extraordinary capabilities, but without a good leader, they are not going to achieve a lot. है ना? So what you need to understand is that leadership, it transforms an organization. It transforms an organization. Clear? So what are the leadership? No, what are the leadership methods? In fact, interestingly, UPSC in the last 2 years has taken a liking in asking leadership theories. Every year, if you look at your PYQs, every year you will find that there is one specific question that has been asked on leadership. हर साल एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है ना? So we know what is going to be asked there. We know exactly what is going to be asked there. Similarly, motivation. So what is motivation? See, this is what? This is your current state. Current state. आप यहां पर हो. What is this? This is your desired state. Desired state. है ना? What do you want to become? A civil servant. This is what you desire. Right now, you are just an aspirant. You are just an aspirant. So you have to move from this particular position to this position. है ना? From an aspirant becoming a civil servant. So in order to achieve this, what is required? One of the key requirements here is motivation. Motivation is a key requirement. If you have necessary motivation, so what happens? You are the ones who would start each and every day with a positive mindset in order to achieve the goal that you desire. So motivation again for every organization, and the organization being capable of achieving their goals, they do require what? Motivation. Clear? So that is also a part we are going to discuss this as well. Now, how many classes shall we start to make notes? Or it is not today, Shruti, it's not today. The next class onwards you will start making notes. Today is just an introduction so that you know what you are going to study. What you are going to study, you should know about it, and what is the requirement. Yani, your mindset. What is your what should be your approach towards this option? That is something that you should be basically focusing on. Preeti, number of classes that we are going to take up would be approximately 140. So 140 classes, and we are obviously going to conduct a 2-hour class, which means 140 into 2, that is around 280 hours. Okay, so 280, somewhere around that, it can be plus minus. No, it can be plus minus something. So that would be the number of classes that would be required to complete the whole syllabus. Okay. Ansh, you will get the details, don't worry. All of it, all the details that is required, you'll go, no, you're going to get it. Okay. Now, then comes, if we talk about CPA, Comparative Public Administration and Development Dynamics. Development Dynamics. What I'm going to do is, first, let me, for the next approximately 45 to 50 minutes, let me, no, let me just transfer information that I need to give you. Once I'm done with it, what I'll be doing is, I will also be asking your general queries. Okay. So whatever your queries are relating to the course, how long the course would be, what would be the ingredients of the course, and all of this you can ask me after that. Okay. So comparative public administration and development dynamics. Okay. Now what is this? So today, if I ask you a question, the question is that if you look at the planet today, that is the planet Earth, and the countries that are there in planet Earth, if I make a statement that today the world faces some common challenges, what do you think? Is the statement correct or the statement is wrong? Okay. What did I say? I said that the statement is, if the world faces some common challenges, if the world faces some common challenges. Now, what do you think? Is the statement that yes, today's world we do face some common challenges? Is the statement correct or is the statement wrong? Huh? What do you think? Is the statement correct or is the statement wrong? Obviously, the statement is correct, because if you try and see what are the common challenges that we face, one is obviously that of climate change, as Preeti has mentioned, that climate change is a issue that we face. No, it's a common issue. It's a threat not to a particular country. It's threat to the whole of the planet. है ना? Along with it, there are some other challenges also. There are some other challenges also. Like if we talk about, suppose, a challenge, if we talk about a challenge that is there, like terrorism, है ना? That's a problem that is there. Illegal migration, unemployment, no, poverty. These are common challenges that are there being faced by all of us. Clear? So, how can we address these challenges? What can we do? How can we address these challenges? Now, there are some countries, which have addressed these challenges. Like if we talk about climate change, and if you look at certain countries, like one of our neighbors, like Bhutan, and if you look at the practices that Bhutan has adopted, you will find it's quite, no, these practices are very, very, you can say, climate friendly practices. If you look at, no, European countries, by studying European countries, we do get a specific no insight as to what are the steps that can be taken in order to no address climate change issues, or for that matter address poverty related issues, employment related issues, etc., etc. है ना? So the thing is, how do we come to know about it? How do we come to know about the practices that we can adopt? How do we come to know about how we can address these challenges by adopting which, no, which country and which country's practices? Only if we take up comparative studies. Comparative studies, we need to study the administration of Europe and find out what they are doing positive, and if, now, if it is relevant, adopt those practices in India. Similarly, we need to study countries like Bhutan to see what they are doing correctly. Why is it that a country like Bhutan is, no, it is scoring well in comparison to India on lot of human development indicators. We need to study Sri Lanka, which is a country again which is doing well in terms of certain developmental indicators. Not always, but in certain developmental indicators, we need to study them. How will we do that? Comparative public administration. So we compare administrative practices that is going on in different countries and we learn from it. That is what comparative public administration is. And development dynamics is a related topic where we study how the process of development has changed, how it has evolved. Okay, how it has changed, how it has evolved. Okay, now similarly, the next topic that we will be studying is public policy. Public policy. Now, what would be the content of this particular topic? The content of this particular topic will be where we study the policy process and certain models. That is, when we talk about policy formulation, so what are the specific no what are the specific parameters, what are the specific goals which are a part of this? Then we move on to policy implementation. So how are policies implemented? What are important factors there? Then comes policy monitoring. That is, when policies are being implemented, so there is a mid-term goal analysis that is being done, which is policy monitoring. And once the policy has already been implemented, the goals have been met, we come to policy evaluation to understand what are the things that we have done right and what are the things that we have done wrong. So this is what we call as policy cycle. This is what we call as policy cycle. Okay. And this is what we study as a part of public policy. We get to know how administration functions here. What are the positive things? What are the maybe problems that may occur in different stages? We study about those. And then we also discuss certain models. So there are certain theorists and these theorists have provided their models related to public policies, how they are formulated. Clear? That is a part of public policy. Clear? Now, what are the topics that we have talked about? We have talked about these topics, the introduction topic, the administrative theories topic. We have talked about the administrative behavior topic. We have talked about the CPA, development dynamics and public policy topic. That means, if you look at your paper 1, you will find that in your paper 1, there are in total 12 topics that are mentioned. Out of those 12 topics, if you are able to properly understand and complete these 6 topics, 80% of your job of public administration is done. 80%. It's not 40%, it's not 60%, it is 80%. That means the first, now someone had this question that sir, how many classes for paper 1 and paper 2? है ना? So for you the answer is that at least 70 to 80 of the classes that I will be taking up, 70 to 80 classes that I would be taking up, these classes would be related to these 6 to 7 topics. It would be related to these 6 to 7 topics, because once we complete these 6 to 7 topics, the understanding part, which is the most important part of public administration, it is the soul of public administration, because public administration is an optional which is about better understanding. It's not about learning. Yes, obviously, you are writing UPSC mains examination, you have to learn things, you have to learn facts, you have to learn how to write things, all of this is there. But understanding is the most important part of public administration. And if you are done, we are done with these topics, 80% of our job of public administration is done. 80% of it is done. This is what I am talking about. the optional of public administration is a very easy optional, provided we know what is to be done. Now, someone had mentioned this question, sir, why is it that the scores are not up to the mark? This is the problem. This is the problem. We don't understand what is important, and we don't write what is being asked. Because what is being asked, if you write it, then in that case there will never be a scenario where you are penalized for writing what is being asked है. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता ना. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता that you are writing what is required, you are presenting what is required, you are doing everything right and you are still not scoring. ये नहीं हो सकता है. UPSC is a very rational institution. It's a very impartial institution. So there are no problems here. The problem is that what has happened is that people and aspirants, they are making a mistake where they, if they are taking public administration as an optional, they do not have an accurate understanding of, first of all, what should be the focus area. And this is the focus area. These 6 topics is our focus area. If we complete this 6 topic, 80% of our job of public administration is done. After that, you are very unlikely to face any problems in the remaining topics. Now, in the remaining topics, you are very likely to do what? Very likely to face any problems, because the remaining topics are very simple. Like the topics that are remaining are in paper 1, personnel administration, techniques of administrative improvement, techniques of administrative improvement, financial administration, administrative law, and accountability and control. Accountability and control. So, personnel, techniques of administrative improvement, financial administration, administrative law, and accountability and control. And when we talk about these 5 to 6 topics that are there, these 5 to 6 topics are very straightforward topics. The questions that you get are very straightforward. The discussion that we have is based simply on what is the topic, and accordingly what is the discussion that is there. Like if we talk about personal administration, in personal administration topic, we study how people who are a part of an organization, how they have to be managed, है ना. जो लोग organization में है उनको हम personnel कहते हैं. So how they have to be managed, what is their importance, what is the importance of training, what is the importance of right form of recruitment, and so on. Similarly, techniques of administrative improvement, a part which is already inherent to our discussion of the theories topic. Then financial administration, paisa. Every organization is run, no, it is run because of money. It can be run only with the availability of money. So money is a very important part. So budget, what is budget? What are the forms of budget? Now, what are the mechanisms of control over the money that is being spent? That is the part of financial administration. Then we talk about administrative law. The topic administrative law is where we study about how delegated legislation functions, how administrative tribunal functions. Now, if you have read polity, some of the ideas you would be having, otherwise it's a bit technical. You will understand it in the class itself. It's not very difficult. You must have read about rule of law. So what is rule of law? How is it different or similar to administrative law? We study it as a part of administrative law. Again, a very predictable set of topic. Every topic that will be there, you know what is to be asked. वहां पर questions predictable होते हैं. Then comes the topic accountability and control. The topic is accountability and control, and in this topic accountability and in control, you will find that it is replication of your governance syllabus. So, how legislative control of over administration functions, how judicial control functions, etc., etc., are very, very similar to the polity part of our discussion in General Studies Paper 2. Okay. Similarly, when we come to Paper 2 discussion, this discussion is about Indian administration. Indian administration, that is, जब हम पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑप्शनल चूज करते हैं ना, तो हमारे दिमाग में एक्चुअली इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन रहता है. How, no, how the district collector functions, law and order of the district, or in India how it functions, you know what is the role of chief secretary, what is the role of cabinet secretary, what are the administrative institutions that are there, how are civil servants recruited, what is the kind of training that they undergo, what is the, how has administration in India evolved, what was the British and how they contributed to evolution, how Mauryan administration contributed to its evolution, how Mughals contributed to its evolution, how union government functions, how district administration functions, how state government functions, how rural governance functions, what is disaster management, how it is taken up in India, what are the challenges of administrative reforms. आज तक जो administrative reforms India में किए गए, वो administrative reforms successful हुए नहीं हुए, what are the committee commissions that are established, है ना. Civil services, that is how training is done, how recruitment is done, what are the organizations that are there as a part of recruiting agencies in government of India. All of it is a part of what? Indian administration. But the most important idea of our discussion for today is what are the key requirements, जो कि मेरा next discussion है. What are the key requirements? So whenever we are talking about public administration, remember this slide that I am going to now write down. This slide is going to change the way you prepare. The slide is going to change the way you prepare, because what I'm going to write on this particular slide are the three important things which will help you score well in public administration. That means if we need a score of 300 or 280 to 300, if we target the score that in your UPSC mains examination, I should be scoring somewhere around this. I should be scoring anywhere between 280 to 300, which will be an exceptional score. If I get 300, I am definitely going to qualify, है ना. अगर मुझे 300 स्कोर आ जाता है तो मैं मेंस एग्जामिनेशन और साथ साथ वेरी लाइकली आफ्टर इंटरव्यूज आल्सो आई एम गोइंग टू क्वालिफाई, मेरा नाम लिस्ट में जरूर होगा. दैट इज व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ 300. तो हाउ डू वी स्कोर 300, है ना. सो देयर इज a question that was asked. See, what happens is that when we are talking about aspirants, this is the mistake that generally they make. ज्यादातर लोग जो पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से मेंस दे रहे हैं, they are unable to fulfill these three criterias. If you are able to fulfill these three criterias, and when you add to these three criterias, when you add answer writing skills, when you add answer writing skills to these three areas, you are going to score exceptionally well in your public administration optional. It doesn't matter which background you are from. It doesn't matter whether you have studied public administration before or not. Nothing of this would matter if you make this slide the key soul of your preparation. तो जब भी आप ऑप्शनल पढ़ो तो इन तीन बातों को ध्यान में रखते हुए पढ़ोगे. क्या? सबसे पहली चीज, public administration requires conceptual clarity. Every orientation class that I take, every orientation class that I take, which is obviously the first class that I take, every first class that I take, every first class, I write down these three factors in the slide itself. And if you follow this, believe me, if you get an opportunity to write mains and you write it from public administration, you focus on these ideas, you are never going to score less in public administration. First is what? Conceptual clarity. That means, see, as I said, administration, public administration, especially the paper one, is what? It is a conceptual idea. It is what? It is conceptual. Paper one of public administration is conceptual. Paper one is conceptual, and you have to understand the basic concepts there. You have to understand the basic concepts. If you are able to understand the basic concepts and the manner in which we have discussed it in the class, in that case, you are you are going to have an edge over other aspirants. Because problem ये है, जो इंट्रोडक्शन टॉपिक है और जो मैंने द फर्स्ट 6 टॉपिक्स दैट आई नेम्ड, generally aspirants do not have conceptual clarity on those topics, and that is the reason why their score is in between 220 to 250. ये जो स्कोर होता है ना 230 का 240 का, where you are you may be able to get into your interviews but you don't get your final result, उसमें ऑप्शनल का ये रोल है. If you add 30 to 40 marks here, that is, rather than scoring 230, you score 270 or you score 280. What is the difference? The difference is conceptual clarity. Because what happens is that in public administration, a lot of questions that are asked are statement based questions. Statement based, that means किसी ना किसी इंडिविजुअल का स्टेटमेंट है वो, या एग्जामिनर ने उसको एज अ स्टेटमेंट पूछा है. तो व्हाट, whenever you are writing any statement based question, what is the fundamental requirement? The fundamental requirement is that you are able to interpret the statement correctly. क्या करना है? Statement based questions require proper interpretation. It requires proper interpretation. And for interpretation, for being capable of correctly interpreting questions, you require conceptual clarity. अगर conceptual clarity है, you know what the key terms are, you know what the key theorists are, and therefore you will never make a mistake of wrong interpretation. लेकिन conceptual clarity नहीं है तो क्या होगा? Conceptual clarity नहीं है तो this is where you are going to suffer. क्योंकि आप क्या करने वाले हो? आप very likely you are going to interpret things wrongly. You are going to interpret things wrongly. आप स्टेटमेंट को पढ़ रहे हो लेकिन उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन गलत कर रहे हो. That is what is likely to happen. Clear? So what you have to understand is the interpretation part, and for that what you require is conceptual clarity. So the first 70 to 80 lectures, it is the key. First 70 to 80 lectures you have to every day after completing the live class, every day after the class you have to at least go through that lecture once again. If not if you're not going through the lecture, complete lecture, what you can do is you can revise whatever I have dictated in the class. So for most of the topics, specifically when it comes to paper 1, for most of the topics I will dictate things, है ना? मैं dictate करूंगा. Introduction topic, administrative behavior topic, all of these topics I will be dictating. Clear? So Ansh, you had that question and your question is answered. Yes, I will be dictating notes, but not in all topics. Like in CPA, development dynamics, etc. I will be providing you with some notes, but for most of the topics, I will be dictating as well. ठीक है, मैं for most of the topics I'll be dictating. ठीक है, तो होगा क्या? If you go through the notes, and by going through, I do not mean just reading it. देखो, गलती यहां पर है, क्योंकि जब आपको कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी चाहिए ना, तो कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी के लिए यू डोंट जस्ट हैव टू रीड थिंग्स वंस. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू बी एबल टू रीड इट इन so many times that you will be able to retain what I have discussed. है ना? Yes, you can obviously revise the notes rather than going through the lecture every day. ठीक है? So, no, when I say once, obviously you will be in the live class. After the live class, rather than going through the lecture once again, read the notes. Not just reading it, retaining it. हर दिन कोशिश करना है, जो भी क्लास में डिस्कस हुआ है उसको रिटेन करना है. So if I have talked about some key concepts, you know, it should be like this. आपने चीजों को पढ़ा, you have revised it once, twice, and after that, when you close your eyes, you are able to recall each and everything that you have read. है ना? At least each and every point and each and every concept you are able to recall it. हाँ, obviously, even if you are able to write it in your own words, चल जाएगा, है ना? तो ये चीज आपको ध्यान रखना है. कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी इज अ की, एंड हाउ टू अचीव इट, आई हैव टोल्ड यू. एवरी डे आफ्टर द क्लास, रिविजन ऑफ नोट्स मैंडेटरी, retention of notes mandatory, not just revision, retention of the notes is mandatory. Clear? Then second point in key requirements is what? Second points in key requirement is that the ability to correlate. The ability to correlate. Again, without having the ability to correlate, you are not going to score the marks that you need. है ना? That means if I have talked about a theory and you have read the theory, you have retained the theory, you have retained the concepts, key concepts there, you should be able to relate it to something which is not necessarily a part of that topic. हो सकता है पेपर 1 में कुछ बातें हैं जो हमने डिस्कस किया है और आपने उन चीजों को पेपर 2 में जाकर लिखा है. So correlating what you have read in paper 1 and writing it in paper 2. So correlating one aspect of someone's theory and writing it in paper 2, or correlating some aspect of one theory and then writing it in paper 1 itself. Like if we talk about personnel administration. So there are theorists who have talked about the importance of people. No, there is Elton Mayo. There are behavioral thinkers who have talked about importance of people. So you should have the capability to do what? You should have the capability to correlate. Whatever we have read as a part of theory, you should have the ability to correlate and write it where you have the ability, you have to have the ability to write it as a part of personnel administration. है ना? This is what I want. This is what I mean when I talk about what? The ability to correlate. This is what I mean. है ना? And we have to develop this. So how can we develop this? We can develop it like this. देखो, ये diagram देखो. What is this diagram? It seems to be like a hill, है ना? लेकिन ये diagram हमारी cognitive capabilities को बताता है कि हमारे दिमाग और हमारा दिमाग कैसे चलता है, उसकी बात कर रहा हूं मैं. और ये नॉर्मल है. इट्स नॉट लाइक यू हैव टू बी वेरी नो कि आपका आईक्यू बहुत होना चाहिए या ऐसी कोई बात नहीं. देखो, दिस इज द फर्स्ट रिवीजन. जब मैं पहली बार रिवीजन करता हूं तो मैं जितनी बातें मुझे बताई गई है ना, द थिंग्स एंड the ideas, the concepts that are there, I will be able to retain this part of it. Now, when we come up with the second revision, what happens? The capability to retain, the capability to retain increases, and the ability to understand whatever we have understood, that also increases. है ना? And it further increases by third revision. And by the time we reach here, that is, by the time we reach to the third revision, what happens is the ability to correlate starts. जब आप किसी चीज को 2-3 बार पढ़ चुके हो ना, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आप उन कॉन्सेप्ट्स को किसी और कॉन्सेप्ट्स के साथ कोरिलेट करना सीख जाते हो. यू स्टार्ट कोरिलेटिंग द आइडियाज एंड यू स्टार्ट कोरिलेटिंग दीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स. यू स्टार्ट दैट कोरिलेशन, है ना? दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस. यू स्टार्ट दैट वेरी कोरिलेशन. एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट. The ability to correlate is mandatory. It is mandatory for us to be able to do what? No, the able to score well in public administration, because without that ability, we are not going to score well. है ना? So, in that is also absolutely required. And then comes what? The dynamic part. See, public administration, specifically topics in public administration paper 2, they are related to current topics. They are related to current affairs. Okay. Like, we have talked about administrative reforms. We have talked about administrative reforms. We have talked about, along with administrative reforms, that no, there is a topic in paper 2. Then there are topics like disaster management. There are topics like problems of coalition government. Now, these topics do require not only the theoretical understanding, but also the practical application which is going on. So, the disaster management that we take up in India. So, how is it that there are countries like Japan which face more disasters than India? है ना? जापान तो पैसिफिक रिंग ऑफ फायर में लोकेटेड है, तो वहां पर जो सुनामीज, अर्थक्वेक्स, they are very frequent. That's not the case in India. Cyclones, they are very frequent. But when it comes to India, you will find that the loss of property, the loss of life is much more in India in comparison to Japan. It's much more in comparison to Japan. Why is this the case? What are the problems with India's disaster management strategy? What are the new changes that have been proposed? If there are committee and commissions that are established, what are the recommendations of those committees and commissions? If the Finance Commission has given its recommendation, what is the recommendation of the Finance Commission? This is what the dynamic part of public administration is. And as it is, you have to do it. Why? Because it's also there in your general studies, और उसमें तो choice है नहीं. So you have to read it as a part of your general studies. Here also, you will do the same thing. You will include it as a part of what? Your public administration knowledge as well. You will include it as a part of public administration knowledge as well. है ना? So that is one thing that you have to also focus upon. Dynamism, because public administration specifically, specifically the paper 2 part that is there, paper 2 is a bit dynamic. It does require your ability of current affairs. Okay, so that is also something that you will be doing. Okay, now these 3 points, अब ये बहुत ही आसान points है और मैंने आपको explain भी कर दिया कि what are the requirements that is there. But the problem is if you are able to do it or not. So whatever is on my part, what is it? What is my duties here? My duty is that I ensure that I repeat concepts till the time you understand. So conceptual clarity, believe me, there will not be any one of you who has been attending my live classes or my recorded lectures who will not understand the basic concepts and who will not understand the basic concepts. I am going to ensure that. Okay? I'm going to ensure that. And that is where we come to the next slide. That is, what do you get? That is, when you come to the live classes, what are the, what are the specific expectations that you should have, and you are the one who will ensure that I provide this to you. What is it? First, conceptual clarity. And for this, along with the live classes and all of it, after every topic, I this session is held after every topic. So as soon as the topic gets over, suppose the introduction topic is over, the next class that would be there, it would be a PYQ session and the doubt clearing session, where I will take up the the PYQs, the previous year question discussion, at least 4 5 questions for at least 2 3 years. We discuss it in the class, and I expect that you will at least the last 5 years of PYQs, you will all write that down. You will submit it to me. I will check it. Okay. So the what when I talk about answer writing, it is again, it is my duty to ensure that your answer writing skills improve, provided you submit those answers to me. अगर आपने आंसर सबमिट किए हैं, मैं उसे चेक करूंगा एंड आई विल गिव इट टू यू, है ना? हाँ, ये जरूर है कि ऑब्वियसली आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू इट on the same day. There are some limitations, there are number of classes and so on, but once a week I will definitely, if you are able to give it in no any day in the week, by the Sunday that I get, or by Monday, or in that means 2 3 days, I correct it and I will provide you with the uploaded checked feedback as to how you can improve your answer. Now the thing is whether you write it or not. अगर आप लिखोगे, you are going to benefit out of it. Believe me, uh, I am going to make sure that you are good at writing answers. Okay, this is my promise. I am going to make sure that you are good at writing answers. Okay, so that part, conceptual clarity, PYQ, answer writing. Okay, along with it, along with it, the PYQ sessions, you can use it at tests, as tests also. That means you will write it and you will submit it. Along with it, as I said, approximately 300 hours of live classes. You will get 300 hours of live classes. Clear? 300 hours of live classes you are going to get. Along with it, the notes part. So in notes, specifically in paper 2, which would be, that I will be uploading PDFs, etc. And this would include updated, including current affairs. So current affairs and the ideas that would be presented in current affairs, which are relevant for public administration. Obviously, current affairs does not mean current affairs for general studies. That's a different thing altogether. I'm talking about current affairs for public administration. Whatever is required, I will be ensuring that you get that. Okay? And then along with this, along with this, you have obviously, after the classes, test discussions, That means every mains examination that is held, the questions that are asked, each and every one of those questions that would be there, you can do what? We will be discussing. Either I'll be taking a YouTube session, or for that matter, a separate session for public administration students. That is also what you will be getting. Okay? That is also what you will be getting. Clear? Now, this part, the ability to correlate depends upon your revision. Dynamic part depends upon how you integrate current affairs. What I can do from my side, I will be doing that. Okay, I will be doing that. Okay. One more thing. Yes, Sania, you have a question. You have a question. Where do we send our answers? So when you look at the app, when the classes, when the classes starts, like you will find that there would be certain sections that would be created of every topic. So in that, you will have one answer writing section. Okay, so when you click on that section, you will find that it opens to a page where there would be an option that you will have to upload PDFs. And you will understand it. There will be a video that would be uploaded for you. You will go through that video. You will understand how you can send me answers. Okay. Sir, what will be the procedure of answer evaluation? Ansh, not necessarily something which you will understand now. Once we start our classes, you will slowly and steadily you steadily understand what I'm talking about. Sir, I'm confident that I will clear prelims this year, but please help me in optional. I'm ready to give prelims exam. You have cleared prelims or you have not cleared prelims? Ansh, because if you have cleared your prelims examination, have you cleared your prelims examination? You will clear. What does that mean? I think the prelims results are already out. So either you have cleared your examination or not. So if you have cleared your examination, see, what I can do is I can help you with the time that I have, है ना? What, no, as it is you are late here क्योंकि आपको पिछले साल आना चाहिए था. So the last 1 year I have 3 batches of public administration which I have already taken. So you should have come then if you are writing this year's mains exam. If you are writing next year's mains examination, or you'll be appearing for next year's prelims, you will have enough time, and we will be taking up enough classes and all of it to be able to no to be able to understand all of this. ठीक है? What are the resources? Yes, एक क्वेश्चन ये भी होता है आपके पास कि what are the resources that are required. Remember, Ambesh, see, there are, along with the notes that I would be giving, along with the notes that I would be giving, there are one book each that I would be recommending for paper 1, and one book I would be recommending for paper 2. Okay, so the book that I would be recommending for paper 1 would be the book called New Horizons of Public Administration. It's a book written by Mohit Bhattacharya. It's a book written by Mohit Bhattacharya. It's a very good book. It's a very good book, but not to be read on the very first day. That is, this is a book that you will read only after your classes are over. ठीक है, एक बार नोट्स पढ़ लिया, सारी चीजें क्लास पे हो गई हैं, उसके बाद पढ़ सकते हो. Not before that, because it's too conceptual and it will become a problem for you. ठीक है, if you read it today, you will never read it again. ठीक है, it's very technical, so don't, right now there is no need to follow it. Yes, after the whole idea is over, the classes are over, the syllabus is over, the optional you are prepared with it, then you can read about it. Okay, and then there is a book that has been written by Rajni Arora and Goyal. So this is a thinkers. This is the individuals name. Two individuals. I think the book is called uh, Institutions of Public Administration. Something like that is the name of the book. Very good book for paper two. Buy the updated version. It's a very good book for paper two. 60 to 70% of your syllabus is covered here, but obviously that 40%, 30%, because it's dynamic, so we have to discuss those in the class. I would be providing you with notes, etc. on it. Okay, so this is the resources that you are going to use. Now these are the resources that you are going to use. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Because see, I don't want to start with discussion on the topic per se for today. So I will not be getting into the syllabus. The next class that we meet, we are going to start with our discussion on the syllabus, and obviously the introduction topic I'm going to start. But before that, if you have any questions, any queries जो आपको लगता है, जो आपको पूछना चाहिए, this is the time. जो चीजें आप उस समय पहले पूछ रहे थे, I want you to ask those questions right now to me. ठीक है, अब पूछो वो. ठीक है, you have approximately 10 minutes if you want to, if you want to ask questions related to it. See, Ansh, again, I will not comment on the nature of book. ठीक है, I will not comment on the nature of book कि कौन सी book क्या है. My recommendation I have already given. If you want to follow, you can follow my recommendation. Okay. See, Pankaj, Prashad and IGNU material is, they are good, but all of it will be covered in class. Okay. So whatever is required, we will basically do what? We will cover them in the class itself. So for thinkers and all of this material, nothing is required. Class notes would be enough. Okay. Class notes would be enough. What should be our strategy during the class? Conceptual understanding. Each and everything that you are reading in the class, if you have not understood any concept, you have to make sure that you ask me about that concept any number of times before you leave the class. है ना? You have to understand each and every concept in the class itself. ठीक है? Revision strategy, Rishabh, as I told you, the revision strategy would be retention. You will retain things. Don't read things. Retention strategy would be retaining things. है ना? Every time you read a topic, close your eyes after it and try and recall. Try and recall whether you are able to recall each and every point or not. If you are able to recall it, you have retained things. If you are not able to recall it, read it again and read it again till the time you are able to retain and till the time you are able to recall it. That is the best strategy to revise. Okay. Timing, you will get an update. सारी चीजें update हो जाएंगी आपके लिए. How can we ensure we are on the right track for option? Pankaj, you will ask me this question after 1 month, not today, because right now, obviously, no, you will not be able to understand it. So you will ask me this particular question after the what? After the 1 month period. After 1 month period, you will ask me this question. We will take a PYQ session. Whether you are able to understand it, whether you are able to correctly answer it, that is that is going to tell you whether you are on the right track or not. Jyoti, it's overlapping with an economy class. See, very likely, you will get a confirmation regarding it, but very likely the class timing would be 4 to 6. Okay, the timing of the class would be 4 to 6, very likely. I am not confirming it right now. We will be able to confirm it just no in a day or two. Okay, because the classes that are there, it is going to start from 23rd. Today was the orientation session. We are going to start classes exactly 1 week from today. So the classes would be starting from 23rd. Okay, so before 23rd, you are going to get the necessary, whatever necessary information is there. Again, 2-3 hours is more than enough. Ambesh, it is more than enough. No, Sania, there is a fundamental problem with the people approaching this optional. Okay, just going back 2-3 years, the topper was from public administration optional. है ना? I will not say it a myth. The problem is whether you answer what is required. प्रॉब्लम ये है, होता ये है कि ज्यादातर जो आंसर्स होते हैं वो आप वो लिख रहे हो जो पूछा नहीं गया है, आप आंसर्स वो लिख रहे हो विच यू नो, एंड दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज यू हैव टू राइट what is required. Okay, what is required is what you have to write. If you are writing what is required in the manner that it is required, you will score very well. ठीक है? Because the classes is offline, KGS center. Okay, so we'll work something out, don't worry, we'll work something out. How many subjects are, Sarah, this is a, no, this is a public administration optional idea, so it will be obviously one subject. Okay, public administration. Anyways, we'll work something out. There will be one time that would be decided, we'll continue with that time. Okay, uh, we you will get the telegram link, don't worry, you will get the telegram link. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions? Any more queries? General queries till December. You're talking about the course timing. See, the course timing would be around 6 months. Okay, the course timing would be around 6 months. And in the 6 month period, because there would be a lot of value addition also, PYQ sessions, answer writing discussion and all of it. So the course time would be 4 months, but it will be completed by 6 months. Okay, why? Because there would be a lot of value addition to it. I will be providing you with the notes. Don't worry, Sania. We are able to complete as we have this. Yes, by no by see 6 months. So we are in the month of June. 6 months is December. So you will obviously be able to length. The class would be for 2 hours. Okay, every day the class would be for 2 hours. The subject is public administration, Shara, and the timing of the class would no. You will get information regarding the timing of the class once you enroll. So if you enroll into the no enroll into the no the subjects class, you will get the timing of. Yes, notes etc. All of it would be provided. Uh, Ambesh, right now you should not be thinking about prelims. Right now is the time to prepare for mains examination. Okay. See, the fundamental mistake that we make is what we do is we make a mistake of over emphasizing on prelims. Okay, forget about prelims for the next 6 months. The any discussion on prelims should be after 6 months. That is after December. You have 4-5 months. It will be more than enough. It will always be in a related manner, Ansh. We will never study things, we will never study things on the basis of no isolation, because that will not give us context. Okay, so context is very important. Notes will be uploaded on your app. It will be in digital format. It will be uploaded on your app. Okay, so that's it for today. We'll be meeting on 23rd. So 23rd would be the first class that we begin. By the time those who are joined on YouTube, and if you are interested in the course, please go ahead. We have a very we have to ensure that no we have to ensure that we are the ones who provide you with the all the necessary any services that is required for you to qualify the examination. Okay, so we are doing this no, we are taking up this initiative of providing the no, providing the notes, providing the coaching for you so that you are able to qualify, and we are assisting you in your preparation of the civil services examination. If you are interested, you can definitely enroll. Ambesh, some other time. Pankaj, yes, there are, but no, I don't prefer taking names. Maybe during our classroom session, I will tell you about some of. Okay, I will tell you about some of them. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.